products that are put up for sale must be seen to be safe
and fit for purpose.
Yes.
Okay. So just before we go on a short break, I wanted to hinge on that. For every right that a consumer has, I believe that they have a responsibility. What sort of responsibility should a consumer take, to give birth to these rights that they have?
That's a good one. For every right, there's a corresponding obligations, And as a consumer, you are required at the first instance to actually confirm that what you have, you intend to buy, is what you really want to buy.
Exactly.
And like I said earlier on, that means you need to look at all the informations and confirm, so that you don't just pick up something, pay for it, and get back home and say, oh, no, that's not what I want. No. So
exactly.
as you have that obligation to actually look at it, scrutinize it, check it, make sure the packaging is nice and is right, and there is no suspicion of that will end up making it unacceptable to you. In addition, I think for products that will be ingested and other products also, you need to check the expiry dates, or the best before. Sometimes we have the best before, which means after the date for which it has been that has been inscribed beside it, the product is no longer best in its content, in its nutrition, in its color, in its flavor. It's no longer best. And we say to consumers, why do you want to buy the product when it is not best?
Exactly.
So if the product expires, for instance, today, it says the best before is today, and you bought it today or you bought it tomorrow, you are shortchanging yourself, because you are buying a product that does not have its content at its best value. And if it says it has expired, then it's only clear that you don't even want to go near it. It has expired, so it behoves on you to check. And there are a lot of products that are not just ingestible products that also have expiry dates. Tires, for instance, have expiry dates.
Oh, okay.
And we have a lot of, obviously, some cosmetics have expiry dates, and a lot of food, either expired or best before. So one of the obligations of consumers is that you need to check that whatever product you buy is still within the acceptable timeline for its potency to be at the optimum. And you should also have an obligation, in order to ensure you get a redress when there's a complaint, that you keep your receipts. I believe that we do not have that culture just yet, but I think that if you need to establish that you have bought a product somewhere, the only way to do it is to show that you have a receipt for that. So it's one of the obligations that you keep all the relevant documents, not just receipts, every other documents that you have in respect to the transaction, so that it is easy to prove your case when there is a need for a redress. And there are certain products that come with warranties and guarantees, and I think that we should go for it. Insist that your products, particularly electronics, must have warranties, and insist that you have those warranties with you. So there are a lot more, but I think for time, these are the critical obligations that I think consumers should ensure that they carry with them every time they engage in any transaction.
Okay, thank you. We need to take a break. And when we return, we'll be looking at the complete mechanisms available to you as a consumer and how you can get redress from CPC. Stay with us. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, we've been discussing your rights and responsibilities as a consumer. But don't feel disenfranchised. You can follow us on all our other platforms, our website, our Twitter, our Facebook, and of course, our contact details are being scrolled right now on your screen. So, we've been discussing the rights and responsibilities of the consumer. However, just, for clarification, I walk into a supermarket, I buy myself a blender. 2-3 weeks, it stops working. What do I do as a consumer based on what you've just said to us?
That's a good one. I assume you have your receipt. The first port of
That's
call
my obligation.
Is to go back to the store where you got the blender and make a complaint.
Okay.
There should be a resolution there.
Okay.
Either they'll take that and fix it, or give you a brand new one if they find that, or repair it. So
Okay.
either of those three
Okay.
should be available to you.
Okay, fantastic. So for example, I'm assuming that I have exhausted that option. I have seen him, and for some reason, you know how it is, these manufacturers in Nigeria, they don't want to part away with the money they've received from you, or, you know, they feel that it's stressful, and they come up with all their excuses. So I come to CPC. Let's talk in detail. What's the complaint mechanisms available here at the CPC?
Well, if a manufacturer, if a seller has taken your money and has given you product that you do not feel satisfied with, we'll get that money back for you. And you just need to make a complaint to CPC. You can walk to our headquarters or the offices. You can send us an email. You can phone, telephone. And that's all that you need to do. But your complaint must be clear. It must indicate what the problem is, and must also say that you have gone back to your first port of call, that is the seller or the provider of service. You remember we are talking about of product and service, services. And you have not been able to resolve this. Okay. You need to do that ahead of coming to CPC. We don't want to jump the gun. And once that is done, and you have given us the clear details of the nature of the complaint, and what you have done, and your dissatisfaction, and what you want us to do, then that's all. We take it up, and very shortly we would get back to you. We'll first acknowledge that we have received that, and then we contact the other party.
Just by way of a follow-up to that, we have made a complaint. We have followed the procedures to making a complaint at the CPC. We have exhausted all of that. What sort of powers does the Consumer Protection Council have over these manufacturers and service providers?
I think that the CPC is the only agency, regulator, I would say, that has the power both to compel compliance by businesses and to provide redress. You find that some regulators have the powers over their business. They may withdraw the licenses, they may fine them for some money, but we say it doesn't translate to consumers whose rights have been infringed. So the Act has given the Consumer Protection Council ample powers to do both. We have the powers to summon anyone. And when I say anyone, I'm thinking, can we summon the president? But we do have the power to summon anyone who is needed in resolution of a conflict. Disobedience of that summon is criminalized, and is 5 years enjoyment in prison if convicted. And at the end of a resolution of a complaint, we give an order, whichever way it is, to redress the wrong. Disobedience of that order is also criminalized, and therefore if you are a business and you have had cause to have a complaint against you, if the CPC gives an order to disobey, the MDs will be prosecuted for disobedience of order. And that's, well, somehow that has a milder punishment, is 3 years imprisonment. We can also apply to courts to compel the compliance to our order, because sending someone to prison does not provide redress. So there's a corresponding powers also to ensure that once you're in prison, the orders are complied with. We also have the powers to enter premises when we're having an investigation and unannounced, and the premise owner is obliged to make himself available, and the documents and any information that we need in the resolve of a complaint. We can also seize and detain goods which we think may have been compromised in one way or the other, or is in conflict with the provisions of the Act.